everybody, how's it going? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson. And today I want to teach you some riffs and chords and stuff from Give a Little Bit by Supertramp. So I think this is like a really cool song, kind of a childhood memory for me, always hearing this song on the radio when I was a kid, so I thought this would be a good one to show you guys. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look. Alright, so the song basically just has like a couple of parts, and it's just kind of repeated over and over again. So we start off here, we got this like kind of intro part here, and the first chord we have is A7. So A string is open, I'm on the 2nd fret of the D string, and I'm using my first finger. And then the G string is open, and then I'm on the 2nd fret of the B string with my 2nd finger, and the high E is open. And then we have a regular D major. So just one thing really quick, a lot of times I'll play A7 with these fingers, but in this case I'm using my 1st and 2nd just because it's going to make it easier for the chord transitions. So we have A7, and we have D major. So if you just if you're doing it this way, you just move these fingers up one set of strings. So now your 1st finger is on the 2nd fret of the G string, and your 2nd finger is on the 2nd fret of the high E, and then your 3rd finger will go into the 3rd fret of the B string, and you strum starting with the open D string. Then we have G major. So 3rd fret of the low E with my 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the B string with my 1st finger. The D and G strings are open. I'm on the 3rd fret of the B string with my 3rd finger, and the 3rd fret of the high E with my 4th finger. So for this first part, those are all of the chords that we'll be using. Okay, so this starts off, it's got like the first measure, you rest on the first, well, there's a half note rest, and then it's a dotted 8th note rest. So it's kind of weird as far as the count, but if you just kind of get the feel for it. That twice. Actually you do it 3 times. So well, on the 3rd time you come back to the A7, then we go to G, back to A7. So that's like the first 4 measures. That's where the vocals would come in. Alright, so that's all like the intro, and then when it goes into the verse, it's just kind of the same thing. Then from there it goes into a bridge section. So for this bridge section we got some new chords we got to look at. So we have B minor. So you just take your 1st finger and bar it all the way across the first 5 strings at the 2nd fret, and your 2nd finger onto the 3rd fret of the B string, 3rd finger onto the 4th fret of the D string, and 4th finger onto the 4th fret of the G string. Then we have E suspended 4. E major. So if you just take your E major chord, 1st finger is on the 1st fret of the G string, 2nd finger is on the 2nd fret of the A string, and 3rd finger is on the 2nd fret of the D string. You strum all 6 strings, that's E. So for E suspended 4, you just keep this shape, but put your 4th finger down onto the 2nd fret of the G string. So the transition on this, it goes from the E suspended 4 to E. So that's why you want to keep that first finger down like you're doing E. Then we have a G again, we already did that. And then we have E11 over A. So complicated sounding name, but not too bad of a chord. So your first finger, or actually, let's see, how did I decide that was the, yeah. So your first finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string, and your second finger is on the 4th fret of the D string. And you just strum starting on the A string. And then we have A7. We already did that. It's the E11 over A. And then we have an E minor over A. So what we're going to do is we're going to move from here, we're just going to move our second finger up, so a half step. So now we're on the 5th fret of the D string, and then your 3rd finger will go onto the 5th fret of the B string. And you still just strum the first 5 strings. Alright, so we have the B minor, and it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and on the and of 4 we're just going to strum just the first 2 or 3 strings open as a transition to the E suspended 4. To the E suspended 4, to E, and at the end of that measure we do the open strings again to transition to a G. Now on this G, we strum the G on the downbeat of 1, is a quarter note, and then on the downbeat of 2 we strum it again, but it's an 8th note, and then on the and of 2 we do 2 16th notes, open A string, hammer to the 2nd fret, and then back to the G. So starting on the B minor, over A. So again, you could do it with your first and second finger, but the reason I like to do this is because then it makes it easy to go back to the A7, because that's what comes after it. So we've got back to E11, to the E minor over A, back to E11 over A, or back to A7, and then a D. So that second, and this is starting on measure 16. We have the E11 over A, and it's this is like, kind of a weird. It's kind of hard to count, because like this is a dotted 8th note, and then a 16th note, and then an 8th note, and then to A7. So. Back to the D, which is going to lead you right back into that same, So like I said, it's like really repetitive, just kind of the same formula, and it's like mostly kind of driven off of the vocal melody as to how the changes are. So that whole bridge section. that's basically all the parts, other than where it goes into a saxophone solo and it has like this big key change. We're not going to go into that part of it, because if you were going to, kind of the idea behind this is just an acoustic rendition that you can play by yourself. So you would just skip that part entirely, and you just kind of play through the sequence, you know, you got the verse. So that's all the parts. Like I said, some parts of this are really easy, some parts are a little bit more challenging and stuff. The transitioning through here takes a little bit of practice. As you can hear by the way I was playing it, that I could use a little practice with it myself. Like I said, it's a great song. I hadn't really even thought about it for a long time, but I thought it'd be a good one to show you guys, just to give you some new chord ideas and just something fun to play and sing along with, if that's your thing. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that and you got something out of it. If you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or anything about this or other guitar-related topics. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Alright, so that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.